Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be featuring an Ultra League draft. So this is going to be a very long video. I might be changing a couple of shirts because I might record this over a couple of days. But we are starting off with this Alaska shirt that my wife got me. I've never been to Alaska, but I'm sure it's great. Anyways, this is Blazingly Blaze Ultra League draft tournament run. There are a series of bands, but these are the picks that were chosen. Tentacruel, Scrafty, Rungarigus, Miltank, Altaria, and Melmetal. That's right, Ultra League Altaria. Best buddy, I think it's like 2300 CP or something like that. And his first round opponent is JD, who has Steelix, Trevenant, Galarian Weezing, Alolan Ninetales, Hippowdon, Gyarados. And for those who are not familiar with the format, they are allowed to TM in between matches, not in the battle. It is not really a best of 4, play to 4, and then whoever wins the whole draft is like whoever has the most wins. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this first matchup here. It looks like Steelix, honestly Steelix, Alolan Ninetales core is pretty strong against this team, I guess, but Melmetal could be pretty decent, pretty dangerous against this team. So let's go ahead and get started, and we are going to see Tentacruel versus Gyarados. This is an okay matchup for both sides. Tentacruel obviously having the bulk advantage and running Sludge Wave, which is pretty nice. This is enough for the crunch. We will see if they actually will end up shielding here. Interesting here. Gonna throw the Sludge Wave. We will see if the opponent is going to shield. It's not enough. Oh my gosh, they did not shield and able to farm down. Controlling switch here. We'll see how valuable that is. And we see it is the Hippowdon coming through. And we do see the Alolan Ninetales in the back. Interesting, not throwing the move. This is actually a Shadow Alolan Ninetales. I forget they can switch variants. I think so. Anyways, gonna throw the Sand Tomb. The opponent actually no shield, that which kind of makes sense too, but this is likely a Psyshock. Oh, they actually no shield here, and they're going to put it all on on Hippowdon, and we will see how this is going to play out. Hippowdon does have a pretty nice moveset. We'll see what they're going to carry, if they're going to carry Weather Ball, if they're going to carry Earth Power or Scorching Sand. And Scorching Sand did quite a bit of damage. Actually able to knock out the Tentacruel. Gonna let this go. Likely in our Scorching Sand. We'll see if the attack drops. What's it? I can't remember if it's a chance for attack drop. Okay, it's actually been a while since I've seen Scorching Sand. The opponent actually ends up shielding. Do you go for the pop here? You do go for another pop. Is the opponent going to be able to make it to 2 Scorching Sands before the counter down occurs? Or do you call the bait here? Oh, they actually do end up baiting here, which they'll see that will actually probably allow them to get to the Scorching. Oh, it actually just to a Weather Ball and not able to get to the Scorching Sand, and able to win the game there. Very nicely played, really nice counts. And we're going to see the second game here. We're going to see a Rungarigus versus a Hippowdon. This is actually a pretty decent matchup. Interesting, not switching right away. Gonna try to, and actually running a Tackle Miltank instead of a rollout. One rollout would have been super effective, and they actually end up throwing the Aqua Tail and gonna go for the Body Slam, and the Body Slam is going to connect. Doesn't quite KO, but does a pretty decent amount of damage. Probably gonna let this go. Doesn't quite KO. Miltank has some pretty good bulk to it, and we're gonna see the Aqua Tail. Are we gonna see? Oh, it's actually gonna be a CMP tie. Gonna actually choose to shield here. Wants to control the switch. Gonna undercharge the Body Slam, which will allow it to get a few more tackles in. Or just one more tackle in. And we will see whether or not this Hippowdon is going to go for the full farm down, or whether or not it will throw the Weather Ball. It will choose to throw the Weather Ball. And the Weather Ball does take it out. And we're gonna see a Rungarigus come back in. And we are going to see the Shadow Ball come through. We'll see if the opponent decides to shield. They do not decide to shield. Does quite a bit of damage. And we see a CMP tie. Very unfortunate CMP tie. Maybe fortunate, though. Going to be able to take out this. I'm assuming they shield this, but let's see. They will not shield, and we see the Ninetales, and that is going to be good night for Ninetales. Really nothing that they can do. Even if they have Side Shock, it's not going to do quite enough. Gonna throw the Scald. Probably straight fast move down was probably better here, but it doesn't really matter. If you get that attack drop, that's nice too, but it doesn't really matter too much. I think you shield this. Even if they bait here, it's not a big deal. They do end up baiting. Not a big deal because you can just fast move down this team, and we are going to see the Psy Shock come through. One Shadow Claw should be enough to take out this. Oh, no, actually two. And we're going to see the Arungaregus take care of the Hippowdon. Very nicely played, and we see Blaze go up 2-0. We're going to see Scrafty versus Hippowdon. We'll see how this matchup plays out. And we see the Ninetales actually come straight in. That's kind of nuts. I'm assuming you let this... Okay, you're going to shield. And then you go for the full farm down. 4, 5, 6. So they get another move here. They will not get to another Psy Shock unless they can... I think it's like 5 to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and they're just going to be able to get the shield back through these Scalds. And we're going to see the first Scald come through. The first one definitely will not KO. And we see the attack drop, which is really nice for this Tentacruel because it's going to make it very difficult for this Hippowdon to farm down. It actually did quite a bit of damage. And gonna probably let this go. Almost certainly let this go. This is going to be a Weather Ball. I can't imagine they're going to throw the Scorching Sand. They're going to get one more Sand Attack in. And we see Miltank come into the Galarian Weezing. And gonna let this go. We'll see if they're carrying Play Rough, Brutal Swing. They are carrying Play Rough. This is actually Galarian Weezing. It's a really tough matchup for Scrafty. So we'll see how these two decide to play it out. If it's an Overheat though, it'll come pretty close to KOing. It actually is a Play Rough. Gonna throw at good timing, one tackle, then throwing the Body Slam. The Play Rough is gonna come pretty close to KOing, and we will see. Oh, the opponent chooses not to throw, and that is gonna be a very costly situation for them. Gonna force this Hippowdon to throw onto this Miltank, but we are just gonna see it tackled all the way down, and we see Blaze go up 3-0. This is the final battle here. We're gonna see Arungaregus versus Hippowdon. This is a good matchup for the Arungaregus, but we will see how this is going to play out. Scorching Sand does not KO, does quite a bit of damage, and we see it do quite a bit of damage, but Arungaregus has some pretty good bulk to it, and we are going to see the Shadow Ball come through. We'll see whether or not they decide to shield. They do end up deciding to shield. Okay, gonna let this go. We will see what they decide to go to the Scorching Sand. That's actually gonna be pretty tough. Oh man, the Steelix. Oh man, that is so bad here. The Steelix is gonna have a field day. And we see the Breaking Swipe. We'll see it. No attack drop, but the Steelix gonna have to. I was gonna say gonna have to throw on Alignment to get this move off before the potential debuff. No debuff. That is very unfortunate for the opponent. And we are going to see the Scald come through. Does actually not that much damage. No debuff. And gonna survive this Breaking Swipe. And do one more, then throw, then probably look to switch. Because the Steelix is just gonna farm down. And gonna try to get to the Ice Beam. Oh man, this somehow is actually working. This Ice Beam should be enough to take it out. And we see the Galarian Weezing come through here. Do you shield this? I guess so. Scorching Sand probably does more, but gonna throw the Body Slam. You need 3 Body Slams to KO. This is gonna be a tall order for this Miltank. Probably gonna have to make a catch to have any chance to win here. Do you call it? Do you shield it? There's very little fast move pressure from this team. Okay. Oh, interesting. Not throwing the Ice Beam onto the Hippowdon. That is... okay, gonna throw the double body slam is more energy than one ice beam. One ice beam certainly would have taken it out, but we will see whether or not. Oh man, should be able to survive this play rough though. We'll see whether or not it can make it to the body slam. Miltank, the milkman, has delivered, or milkwoman. I'm not sure which gender this Miltank is, but very nicely played there. Very nice win. And going up 4-0 versus JD, which I thought would run Steelix more. I guess a little bit fearful of the Rungarigas and Scrafty, I guess. But honestly, Steelix looked pretty strong against that team. So, but it wasn't quite strong enough and a little bit unlucky with the Breaking Swipe debuffs. Anyways, match number 3 going against the actual Nomad, who has Euphis, Pelipper, Drapion, Flygon, Surfetch, and Mantine. This is a very spicy team. Anyways, we're going to go ahead in the first game here. We're going to see Tentacruel into Euphis. A terrible lead. Going to switch into Tackle, Miltank here. And the opponent choosing to stay. And these tackles are actually adding up to quite a bit of damage. They do throw the discharge. This Euphis has quite a bit of energy. Ice Beam, despite being super effective, probably only does about 40% to the Euphis. Euphis has some decent bulk. Actually, throwing the body slam here. Imagine the opponent doesn't shield here, and gonna at least go up to. There's actually no guarantees that they're running Ice Beam either. They could easily run. I guess Ice Beam makes the most sense. Gonna throw the Ice Beam. This probably just barely doesn't KO. Let's see. Oh, maybe it actually would KO. And the opponent coming into Mantine. This is an interesting matchup between these two here. Likely an aerial ace. I can't imagine that they're going to throw anything else. But this is going to take quite a few aerial aces to KO. Blizzard won't KO the Mantine either. It's pretty tanky. But it'll probably do about half is what I'm guessing. So it'll almost certainly survive this move. And it's going to be a pretty awkward matchup from here. And, well, actually, look, it's going to be able to farm down here. We'll see whether or not this Mantine will be able to survive the poison jabs and make it to another move. Gonna commit to the farm down no matter what. And the Flygon comes in. Gonna throw the Blizzard at this Flygon. The Flygon chooses a shield, but it has no shields left. I guess you shield this, right? Gonna let it go. They do throw the Scorching Sand, does quite a bit of damage. And Shadow Flygon is very glassy, but should be able to survive this foul play. But will be put pretty low, and the opponent choosing not to throw the move. You almost certainly shield this, right? There's probably no point in not shielding it. And it would do the most damage, and then just gonna go for the foul play. I'm assuming it survives here. This is an Ultra League. It does survive, and this looks like it's going to be game over. Nice counter down. Blaze taking out this very spicy team. ABA ground. We're going to see Altaria versus Flygon. No Dragon Tail on this Flygon, so it's just going to spam out some, I'm assuming, Dragon Claws. Right? It doesn't have any. I guess it could have Stone Edge. That actually does quite a bit of damage. Oh, actually, CMP tie makes sense. Actually, going to let this go. And just barely able to survive, but wouldn't be a very difficult task for the Flygon to mud shot down. The opponent lets it go. We're gonna see the Mantine come through, and we are gonna see Miltank versus the Mantine, and we're gonna see Surfetch. This thing likely does have Leaf Blade, so it's gonna be an interesting matchup. Probably gonna, I would imagine, bait here. They do throw the Night Slash. And that makes sense because it likely has Leaf Blade. Maybe it has Brave Bird, to be honest. But we will see how this is going to play out. Gonna shield this almost for sure. Do you bait again or do you go for it? Gonna go for it. We will see if the opponent chooses to shield. The opponent does choose to shield. Do you shield this? Probably can farm down. Be close. They do throw Leaf Blade. 3. Okay. Oh, very nice play by the opponent. But this Aerial Ace almost certainly doesn't KO. Oh, they actually Ice Beam here. And we will see. This is gonna be a close game here. Probably need, honestly, maybe a body slam and ice beam is probably better here because I'm assuming the ice beam does slightly more damage than the body slam, despite body slam having stab. I think ice beam is the way to go here, but because they almost certainly would survive the body slam. But is this Surfetch have two? Maybe body slam here and then farm down. Yeah, that's probably the play here. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah, because then you can just body slam. This Surfetch doesn't have a move. Yeah, it makes sense. And gonna be able to land the body slam. Though I think you'll be able to tackle down before they make it to a move, but no point in risking it. That makes sense. Okay, nicely played. We're gonna see Arungarigas versus Surfetch. Definitely no shield the first one. We will see what the opponent does. They actually decide to. Okay, gonna throw the. Oh, interesting here. Gonna throw the Sand Tomb, drop the defense, and we're gonna see the opponent likely throw a Crunch and get the defense drop, but still the second Crunch won't KO. But do you shield this? Gonna shield. Gonna have to throw again because I don't think you can farm. Well, maybe you could shield and farm down. You got a pro shield anyways, but oh, the opponent actually chooses to. Do you let this go here? Like, what's their answer to? Oh, gets the defense drop. Oh, a very nice play. Gonna be able to make it the move right before the Altaria makes it. They do throw the Night Slash. And we're going to see Arungarigas come back in. And likely this is going to be a Leaf Blade. Yes. Does quite a bit of damage. Doesn't quite KO. Going to throw the Sand Tomb. Likely they'll throw Night Slash, which is enough to KO. And as well for the potential boost. And we'll see what the opponent... Let's see what happens here. They will throw the Leaf Blade just in case. And will they be able to tackle down before they make it to move? Ooh, this Leaf Blade is going to hurt. And there's really nothing that this... yeah, this is absolutely game over here. Probably 2 Aerial Aces will KO. Each Aerial Ace probably does about 17%, I would guess. Yeah, that seems about right. And probably just going to let... Oh, actually going to do the body slams here. Maybe one tackle and throw another body slam just to see how much it does. No. Gonna let them throw the Aerial Ace, and this will be enough to take out the Miltank. If would have been able to tackle down, maybe would have had a pretty good shot there. And we're gonna go ahead into game number 3. We're gonna see Miltank into Surfetch. Absolutely terrible lead here, and we're gonna see the immediate switch into interesting counter swap. Interesting counter swap. Maybe because it's a Mantine in the back, same team. They do throw the Crunch. Defense does fall. Not throwing the Scald right away. Not that it really matters. The Poison Stings probably don't do extra damage here. Able to get the attack drop. You let this go, right? You let this go. Yeah, you let this go because it doesn't KO. They're not going to be able to farm down. They also will survive this Scald. And we'll put them into the red. They actually choose the shield. They get another attack drop. You just put this all on Altaria, right? You just let this go. Oh, gonna shield here. That makes sense too. The opponent gonna double shield. Gonna look to control switch. Oh, nice catch onto the Mantine, but this is game over, right? You just go back into Miltank here. But very nice catch. And but there's not really too much that can be done at this point in time. This Altaria is just gonna sweep in the back. I guess if they boost with the Surfetch, that would be pretty bad. But the 2 body slams, probably enough. With the tackles, maybe not right away here. And we're gonna see the CMP tie. Doesn't want this Surfetch to farm too much, but wants to make sure it comes out with energy too. Risky CMP tie. And we're going to see... Okay, we're going to see the Drapion come back in. You just stay. You just stay here. Right? And just... Okay, that works too. That works too. I probably would have stayed, to be honest. And we will see whether or not they're going to be able to make the move here. They will not. And now you just go for the Moonblast. Moonblast does more damage than the Sky Attack. And we're going to see this do quite a bit of damage. Will it KO? It definitely does KO the Ultra Lake Surfetch. All right, we are in the 4th round. This next opponent is Mother of Shadows and rocking the Abomasnow, Politoed, Hitmonchan, Alolan Muck, Gothitelle. Okay, I haven't seen a Gothitelle in the draft in a while, and then Kanto, Ninetales. Let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna see Tentacruel into the Gothitelle. This thing has confusion, so it's actually really, really bad. Gonna go ahead and switch into. Oh man, that is very bad here. Likely they're not rocking close combat here. Was that Shadow Gothitelle? They rocking Ice Punch. Probably doesn't reveal. Likely running Thunder Punch, right? So it doesn't want to reveal it. And gonna be able to make it to another Body Slam. Gonna be able to take a shield advantage, which is pretty nice here. But what is in the back for this this craft? He might sweep here. But this thing is definitely gonna land a Thunder Punch. Gonna wait the clock out. Gonna let this go. We are gonna see a 2 shield. Yeah, Thunder Punch makes sense. Gonna switch here. And we will see. Oh, it is a Politoed here. Do you just straight pop it? There's 2 shield pop. I don't know what moveset Gothitelle has. They actually choose a no shield. This is actually a triple shadow team, which is not great when it is. Oh my gosh, they land the Ice Beam. I don't even know if you should go up to the foul play. I guess you do. Let's see if the opponent decides to shield or not. They do decide not to shield. Now you just shield and farm down. Alright. And they choose to throw another Ice Beam. Gonna be able to counter down. You do 1 counter and throw the foul play. This boosted foul play is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage to this Gothitelle. And we will see whether or not Scrafty is going to be able to make it to the foul play. It is. And that is going to be a game over. Oh, it's not. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know here. And we're gonna see Arungarigus into Hitmonchan. This is a pretty good matchup for Arungarigus, despite it having. Oh, they're actually rocking Dark Pulse. Interesting. Not Dark Pulse, Snarl on this Alolan Muck. And we're gonna see it come back. Gonna see Miltank come into this Alolan Muck. It is the Shadow variant. I guess Mother of Shadows is appropriate to rock that name. But running a pretty good team versus the Hitmonchan. So they will make it to another move. Gonna let this go. And we will see it throw another Dark Pulse here. And gonna be able to get the farm down. This Hitmonchan gonna get some energy, but not too much. Looks like 4 counters there. Do you come into... Is this a Politoed in the back? This is actually going to be pretty tough here. Let this go. They do throw the Thunder Punch. And... Okay, was trying to make the catch there. Maybe went 1 early there. They do throw the Ice Punch. Does quite a bit of damage. Here comes the Politoed. Okay, gonna go for the bait. We will see whether or not this Politoed is going to call the bait again. They will call the bait again. And I think you shield this, to be honest. The debuff is probably worth it. They do land the Ice Beam. Curious on the moveset on this. Maybe it's a frustration Politoed, to be honest. I think you just let this go here and just Poison Jab down. Okay, you just let this go here and just Poison Jab it all the way down. Okay, you're gonna throw the Scald here. I don't know if I agree with throwing the move here. I think you're better off because now they can potentially switch. But I guess you take out this Hitmonchan. Yeah, it makes sense too. But we will see if this Politoed is not going to be able to get off moves here. It must have frustration, right? I don't know why I keep throwing Ice Beam. You mean no Weather Ball? Nope, certainly no Weather Ball, right? And we're going to see Scrafty into this Muck here. And interesting, immediately swapping here. And we're going to likely see the Ice Beam come through unless they're rocking another moveset. And gonna throw the body slam. This Ice Beam does an underwhelming amount of damage to this Miltank. And interesting. Okay, they actually do have Earthquake. And then gonna try to farm down here. Very nice farm down. Do 2 tackles and then throw the body slam. We will see. Oh, actually, it's gonna be. Oh man, running ABA week 2 in Hitmonchan. I just realized that. But this is looking pretty good here. Maybe commit to the Thunderbolt. It would do more damage. I doubt you're gonna be able to make it to another one here. Maybe. Oh, so close there. Super close there. Gonna let this go. I'm curious here if they Thunder Punch or Ice Punch. They just blind throw. They do throw the Thunder Punch, and we see the immediate swap. And this should be game over. This Scrafty is gonna be too much for this Alolan Muck. I guess you already know one moveset here, and able to get the sneak through. Likely Gunk Shot. No, it is Gunk Shot. Doesn't do quite enough because in Ultra League these Pokemon are way too bulky. And we are going to see a pup. And probably going to do 4. Then throw the pup again. And we will see whether or not this Muck is going to shield. It will not shield. And this boosted counter is going to do way too much damage to this Hitmonchan. This Hitmonchan didn't even bother throwing the counter there. And this is looking pretty good here. And we're going to see a Bomb of Snow. Do you switch here? Okay, going to stay in. Okay, they throw the Icy Wind, I assume. This is actually after 6. Maybe switch here. Okay, interesting. But man, let's see how this is gonna play out. Okay, the opponent choosing not to throw the Icy Wind. Maybe gonna go for the Energy Ball. Energy Ball would be enough to KO. And they do throw the Energy Ball here. Do you come in? Okay, gonna come in Tentacruel here. But it is almost certainly a Hitmonchan in the back. Okay, gonna go for the Sludge Wave. We'll see whether or not the opponent decides to shield. They've been calling baits all day. And here comes Hitmonchan. And we will see how this is gonna play out. We're going to see Scrafty try to counter its way through. And I actually don't know if this Thunder Punch KOs. It does not KO. And Scrafty putting up a fight versus this Hitmonchan. And going to look to farm all the way down. And we will see how this is going to play out here. I guess you shield here, but... Oh, they actually bait here. Wow, that is... But now they're going to straight Ice Beam. Otherwise, they're just going to Mud Shot down. Going to go for the Scald. Actually claiming the Showcase here. I think you shield these. And you just go for the farm down. They will Ice Beam. There's no way they make it to 2 more Ice Beams. And Poison Jab down. Tentacruel way too strong here. Oh, I don't know. All right, we're off to the next round. This is Alan 8852, Alolan Sand Slash, Dragonite, Double, Clefable, Blastoise, and Luxray. Let's see what the match is going to be. We're going to pick up a fantastic lead. Actually, really good against Clefable against this team. Oh, interesting. The opponent is staying here. Curious what they have in the back that they're willing to stay in this pretty terrible matchup. Maybe Dragonite? Interesting. It's really, I guess maybe it's not as bad as matchup as I think it is. It must be Dragonite in the back. I don't know. I'm not sure here. Anyways, let's see what the opponent's going to do. Oh, here comes my dog. They do throw the Moonblast. It actually gets it pretty low, to be honest. And gonna throw the Rock Slide at this Clefable. We'll see if they decide to shield. They do not decide to shield. And then they're going to come into Luxray. Going to throw the Superpower at the Luxray. The Luxray will be able to farm down. Oh, she does quite a bit of damage. Going to do a double here. Are we going to see the Dragonite come through. I think this thing has Psychic Fang Wild Charge. Oh, they got the huge bait there. That is very bad here. And throwing on alignment here and losing CP is actually very bad here. Okay, good. I would just take it out, to be honest, because they can always switch here. It's always dangerous. It is the Dragonite. And gonna look to try to scald this Dragonite. And they throw on. This is actually going to be a pretty problematic matchup here. They throw the Dragon Claw. The Dragonite is going to have to shield. Otherwise, it's going to be too low. We'll see if this debuff could be huge. No debuff there. That is very bad. And the Dragonite is going to be forced to throw. Oh, man. Let's see here. Honestly, the superpower is almost for sure going to KO. Very costly mistakes in this game. And this will allow the Dragonite to KO this Miltank, and that is game over. Few mistakes there in that game end up being very costly. Oh, that is not a good lead at all. Gonna stay in. No point in throwing right away because it would be a CMP tie. Gonna go for... Okay, gonna throw anyways. Gonna go for the pop. We'll see. The opponent does end up shielding. Dragon Claw is probably not enough to KO here. Do you let this go? They do throw the Dragon Claw. And they will catch onto double. Still does quite a bit of damage though. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Gonna get the boosted counter damage. Gonna come into Tentacruel. And we'll see what moveset they're carrying. They are throwing the Body Slam. Gonna let this go. I guess it makes sense to have payback for the yes, payback for the Ringarigus. Gonna get the full farm down here. We're gonna see what's gonna come in. It's going to be Powder Snow Alolan Sandslash. Is actually much better situation here since they won't be able to farm down as much, or easily I should say. They're not gonna be able to farm down at all. And we are going to see a potential second debuff there. And we see the Dragonite come back in. Do you let this go or do you shield? Gonna let it go. They do throw the superpower here. Oh, interesting. This is actually pretty bad here. This is actually a very terrible situation here because the tackles are resisted. But can you farm it down? Resisted poison jab. That poison jab is probably enough to KO, and this is going to be a wrap here. And gonna be able to take out the Alolan Sandslash with a double resisted poison jab. Nicely played. We're gonna see Melmetal into Dragonite. This is a good lead for the Melmetal. We will see how this is gonna play out. Gonna throw right before the superpower. This Rock Slide almost certainly doesn't KO. We'll put it pretty low. And the question is here, will we see... Oh, I guess you shield this for sure, right? Even though this is probably a bait. Oh, they actually do not bait, but gets the Rock Slide. The Dragonite is not quite at... Well, actually, yeah, not quite at another one here. And we see the Luxray coming in. And gonna throw the Rock Slide. Makes sense to throw the Rock Slide this time. And we will see... Gonna be able to throw the superpower at this. You let this go, Psychic Fang, I'm guessing. Probably enough to KO. And gonna come into Tentacruel. Oh, interesting here. Shield this? Or no shield this? They do throw the Psychic Fang. And gonna switch here and catch the move. And we're gonna see what's... Oh, they shielded the Psychic Fang. Oh, that is... very bad there, but I don't think it matters here because it is a Alolan Sandslash in the back, and this should be a game over here. Yes, and that counter will KO, unless they throw the Blizzard here. There's no way it KOs. They do throw the Ice Punch, not enough, and this Luxray is going to go down. Nicely played. And we have one more game here. We're going to have Miltank into double. Very bad lead here. Yeah, bad lead here. And we're going to see... Oh, they come into Luxray. Going to throw the... Shadow Luxray is very glassy here. So we are going to see the Scald come through. Do you let this go or do you shield? They will throw the Psychic Fang, and they will throw another Psychic Fang. Do you shield and get this last shield from them? No. Gonna let it go. Gonna come into double here. Gonna look to farm it all the way. Oh man, throwing on the CMPs is very bad here. And it gets the wild charge. That is absolutely terrible. Definitely should just commit to the farm down. And this double is going to be very hard to take out. That body slam would have been really nice here. We'll see if they bait or they go for it. They do go for the payback. Okay, interesting timing there. And we'll see how this opponent's going to choose to play it out. They actually choose a no shield here. And we're going to see the superpower. We're going to see whether or not they will. Melmetal will in CMP versus the double. So we're going to see back-to-back superpowers. This is obviously not going to do as much as the first one, but does quite a bit of damage. Okay. And going to look to reset here. Oh, this Dragonite chooses to throw. Oh, actually choosing to shield here. And then commit to the Thunderbolt. Does slightly more damage, but is this a mistake? I think this is a mistake here, to be honest. Oh, it's not enough to KO. Gonna have to try to farm down. And honestly, even the Dragon Claw might be enough here, but they're definitely gonna superpower. I think that was a mistake at the end. A little bit of misplace in this game, but still able to come up with a 2-2 in this round. All right, round number 6. This is F. Barnes, who has Gallade, Goodra, Salazzle, Regirock, Suicune, and Star Raptor. We're gonna see a Rodriguez into the Regirock. This should be a good matchup, right? What's the worst moveset they could have here? Not really anything, to be honest. Like Stone Edge, Zap Cannon. I guess Earthquake would be the worst moveset. They come into Goodra. Don't really have a great response into the Goodra on anywhere on the team. Maybe like Altaria would probably have a decent matchup. Just because unless they're carrying Draco Meter, nothing really hurts that much. But let's see what moveset they're rocking here. They do throw the Power Whip. Can Miltank actually just straight up win the 0 here? Looks like Goodra's going to be able to win the 0 because it should survive this Body Slam and probably make it to the Power Whip. And gonna shield. Oh, interesting. They don't throw Aqua Tail here. Is this Regirock gonna farm all the way down? No, they're gonna throw the Stone Edge. Makes sense. The Thunderbolt wouldn't have KO'd, but would have put it pretty low. Oh, they have Suicune here. Okay. Well, this is good for the Tentacruel because nothing from Suicune really hurts. Right? It has all water and ice moves, charge moves, I believe. Yeah, Scald. It's okay. Okay, you're gonna throw the Scald. The Scald doesn't KO. I doubt the Suicune will shield here, but maybe. No, they don't shield. And gonna let this go. They do throw the Scald back. And gonna throw the Scald at this Regirock. Either Regirock lagged or, which is probably the case here. Oh, actually, no, throwing on CMP. This Stone Edge doesn't KO. Earthquake probably doesn't even KO here. And then gonna switch, and this is looking pretty good. I would just go straight Sand Tomb, to be honest, but it looks like they're gonna throw the Shadow Ball. I'm not necessarily sure for what reason. Maybe because they expect the opponent to give up. Yes, they did. Okay, interesting. I guess so. Okay, Melmetal into Gallade. Interesting matchup. Obviously, the Psycho Cuts are resisted. Rocking double Iron Bash. I guess it was no guarantee that they were going to have double Iron Bash. Could have had Superpower and Rock Slide. Makes a very nice catch here. We'll see if this Gallade decides to bait or go for it. They do decide to go for it. And here comes the Regirock. Regirock outpaces here. I doubt Earthquake KOs, but probably would put it pretty low. Yes, and then gonna throw the Scald, which again doesn't KO, but maybe with the debuff you can make it to another Scald. Probably not. It's probably too low. It's gonna be close here. Oh, it's actually gonna be super close. Oh, actually able to make it to the move, which is really huge. We'll see if they decide to shield or not. They do decide to shield. They're gonna come into Scrafty here. They will throw their Earthquake. Interesting, not waiting, not just going right away. Let this go. They definitely throw the EQ. I don't imagine that they're going to. Actually, did not do very much. This Gallade is loaded though. Man, we see. Gonna see a shield. They will throw the close combat. This Gallade has a lot of energy though. Still has some energy. Not a lot of energy, but still has some energy. And gonna combo play them with this double Iron Bash. Should be enough to KO. Definitely with the debuff. And we're gonna see what's in the back. It's gonna be a Suicune. And this should be game over here. Gonna throw the Rock Slide at this Suicune. Gonna no shield whatever move this Suicune has. And this is gonna be a GG. They need 2 Scalds to even potentially KO. I'm not even sure 2 Scalds from a Suicune will KO. Probably. But even then the Snarls are double resisted. Yeah, for sure. Definitely KOs. Gonna let this go. And they do throw another Scald here. And then just needs to make it to the Foul Play. And then gonna throw the Foul Play at this Suicune. And that is going to be a GG. Very well played. We'll see if the opponent will bring out the Salazzle. They actually bring out Gallade. Okay, interesting situation here. And going to come into Tentacruel. They will throw the Leaf Blade, which is neutral. As you can see here, Gallade is very glassy. And they will come into Staraptor here. Ooh, interesting. Staraptor pretty glassy too. This is Shadow Staraptor. And they will end up shielding but getting debuffed here. I'm not sure a Fly will KO, but we'll see. They will throw the Fly. And gonna throw the Scald at them. The opponent is going to... You shield us here? Control switch? Yeah, gonna try to control switch here. Gonna throw the... Oh, that is very bad here, but can counter down. I guess you had to shield anyways. And then you farm it down. Okay, gonna farm it down with Altaria. And here comes Salazzle here. I guess they will have access to Dragon Pulse. Gonna catch. Very nice catch. I'm assuming this will be the Dragon Pulse. Does a decent amount of damage. This Salazzle is gonna farm up some energy. I doubt a Dragon Pulse KOs, but maybe with another move it will KO. This Foul Play does quite a bit of damage. And I'm assuming they Leaf Blade here. They will Leaf Blade. Gonna farm down. Might as well do... Okay. Honestly, I probably would... I doubt this Dragon Pulse will KO. It definitely will not KO. Okay. I actually thought it would do a little bit less, but... still worked out fine and able to Sky Attack and take out the Salazzle. It actually was much closer than I thought it was to KOing. And we see Melmetal into Gallade. And we're going to see how these two will decide to play it out. Melmetal, oh, they actually just straight up throw the move here. Gonna shield. They will throw the close combat. And the opponent deciding to stay in. Double Iron Bash. Maybe do 2 more. Oh, actually does not KO. Gonna throw. They do have the... No, they are 1 off the move. Making a very nice catch. I guess this is a safe play because even if they Leaf Blade here, you would resist both moves. And then here comes Suicune. I'm guessing it has Ice Beam. Okay, gonna throw the Sky Attack. And it almost for sure has Ice Beam, right? And they just come in Tentacruel. They do have Ice Beam. Gonna come in Tentacruel, look to farm it all the way down. They will get a Scald off. But you did, oh, get debuff there. That is not fantastic here, but let this go. Looking pretty good though still. It will scald. I think you just farm it down or take another scald and switch. Switch here and try to Thundershock down. Yeah, I like this play here. They come into Gallade. This Gallade has very little energy though. And we'll see if they choose a shield or not. Probably Salazzle. Oh no, it's actually going to be Star Raptor here. And this is looking really good for the Melmetal. And you just shield this. And this Rock Slide almost certainly will KO, but let's see. Oh yeah, it'll definitely KO now with this close combat. And this is going to be game over. GG. Very well played. Fantastic set. And we're off to the next round. All right, we are into the 6th round, I believe. This is against a Max Zero who has Kofagrigus, Aurorus, Toxicroak, Skarmory, Venusaur, and Snorlax. Let's go ahead and get started here. Pretty interesting team here. I guess Rungarigus looks pretty good here. Melmetal, okay. Great lead. Great lead. And they come into Toxicroak, into Altaria. Counter swap Altaria. That's actually really good here. I called the line perfectly so far. I'm assuming they have Shadow Ball. Does quite a bit of damage. Gonna have to throw the Sky Attack before they reach another Shadow Ball. Probably no shield from the... Oh, okay. They're actually gonna shield here. I don't think there's a way to win switch. I think as long as you match shield, should be okay. Oh, we're actually gonna let it go. Gonna come into... that was interesting. Gonna come into... I guess there's no other answer to Melmetal on the opposing team, right? So this is actually looking pretty good here. Honestly, 2-shield Melmetal is probably pretty strong here. But gonna shield and look... Okay, they do come into Aurorus here. And actually rocking the double Iron Bash, which is double super effective versus Ice and Rock, right? Yes. Okay, gonna let this go here. This should be game over. Actually, a really nice read, realizing that oh my gosh, actually did quite a bit of damage. And then gonna throw another double Iron Bash. Actually not rocking any Rock Slide here, so that's actually kind of a weird matchup with Skarmory. And they come into Toxicroak. And this should be game over now. Probably superpower them, then go into... She's going to build up some energy here. And then going to throw the double Iron Bash. Honestly, I probably would just superpower and switched. Because this double Iron Bash is resisted. Oh my gosh, they actually end up choosing the shield. Even, I guess that they could have Thunderbolt. But this should be game over here, right? The Steel Wings are resisted by Tentacruel. The Poison Jabs are double resisted. But it looks like Tentacruel is going to be able to take out the Skarmory. This Scald almost certainly doesn't KO, but maybe you can... No, it doesn't. That farm down would be pretty difficult here. Brave Bird almost certainly wouldn't KO, and this should be game over. I guess not revealing the second move was pretty nice too, and gonna be able to get off the Scald here and win the game. Very nicely played. Really nice read, realizing it doesn't need switch. Which I guess ended up making the most sense here. Kofagrigus into Melmetal. Pretty neutral matchup. We'll see what's in the back. I'm not sure who wins this matchup. I'm guessing Kofagrigus wins a 0. 2 Shadow Balls will almost certainly KO. Probably a Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse is probably enough. So they do throw the Shadow Ball. One Shadow Ball probably does about 40%, I would guess, in this situation. Melmetal, not the tankiest Pokemon, but going to have... Okay, gonna try to catch... Oh, man, this is an interesting... Maybe we'll have to have Psychic here. This is an interesting counter swap. They actually come in just because the Poison Jabs are resisted. And gonna no shield again. And they will end up throwing the Scald at this Kofagrigus. Should be enough to take it out. Oh, they actually end up shielding. Okay. But if it's a Skarmory in the back, this is really problematic. Gonna let this go. The Shadow Ball will do about 40%. Yeah, gonna be able to farm down. I'm gonna guess this is a Toxicroak in the back. It is a Toxicroak in the back. This should be game over for Blaze, unfortunately. This double Iron Bash simply not enough. Maybe you can get, even if you get 3 off and take it out, the Skarmory will just farm down. I don't even know if this is enough to KO. We will find out. It is not enough, and they actually will farm down. The Dragon Breath will probably take it out beforehand, and this is game over here. Probably no point in shielding this next Sky Attack, because they're going to be in Sky Attack range. Even with the Moonblast debuff, it will not be enough, and it looks like they're going to attempt a double on the Sky Attack. Going to let it go. Really no point in shielding. Probably could have threw the Sky Attack sooner, because the timing doesn't really matter against a one-turn move. All right, 1-1 in the series. We're going to see Altaria into Venusaur, fantastic lead, and we will see how they're going to play it out. Okay, they come into Cofagrigus. Not really. Well, I guess they have Scrafty as a clear answer to Cofagrigus, but still kind of weird matchup. They actually choose to throw the Shadow Ball. Going to go for the Moonblast, an interesting play. And then you're going to come into Tentacruel. This is also an interesting play here. All 3 Pokemon are pretty okay against Venusaur. I'm going to choose to shield the Shadow Ball. And going to throw the Scald at the Cofagrigus. I doubt they shield. And I'm guessing it's a Skarmory in the back. Maybe that's why they chose to preserve. Okay. Sludge Wave, they're both doing neutral damage. The Frenzy obviously will do quite a bit. It won't KO. It'll even be a difficult farm down for the Venusaur. And gonna throw the Sludge Wave. Gonna fake the Blizzard. I like this play. And we'll see what the opponent does. They actually choose to shield. And this will be a difficult farm down for them. And they do get to another Sludge Wave. I doubt this Venusaur will invest 2 shields. Yes, and then show me the Skarmory. Nice play. Maybe honestly letting the Tentacruel go down is probably a slightly better play because now you can't really reset. It would have been better to let the Tentacruel down. I don't know what the one Steel Wings was gonna do for. Okay, gonna throw the Superpower. Melmetal does win CMP versus the Skarmory. And this should be game over, right? I'm assuming the Skarmory will no shield. It will survive. Oh, actually, they will end up shielding. Not that this really matters. You could shield this. Could choose not to shield it. Gonna shield. Gonna switch this to Altaria. Honestly, Altaria could have taken out the Skarmory too. I don't think a Sky Attack will KO. And we'll probably make it to the Sky... No, we'll not make it the Sky Attack here. But it doesn't matter here. Double Iron Bash would be enough as well. I'm going to take it out. So a slight misplay there, in my opinion. Not letting the Tentacruel go down because you get a Superpower and then bail. All right, we are in the next round going against MDKE1, who has Empoleon, Giratina Origin, Buzzwole, Licky, Zapdos, and Samurott. Let's go ahead and see how this matchup plays out. And we're going to see Samurott in Tentacruel into Samurott. Pretty good lead here. And then we see, oh my gosh, the double nuke. Oh, it's actually a Dragon Tail Giratina. That's an interesting moveset. It kind of makes sense here. I guess worse against Melmetal. And we're going to see the roll out. The Dragon Pulse is an absolutely terrible move, so I doubt this will be enough. I actually have a Shadow Ball here. And I'm going to throw the Ice Beam again. We will see whether or not they'll shield. They will not. And unfortunately, the Samurott is not going to appreciate this Thunderbolt. There's actually an Empoleon here. Well, this is absolutely game over here. This Thunderbolt is going to do not that much, but some damage here. And going to be able to reach another Thunderbolt. This is game over. Right, 2 weak to Tentacruel. And then we'll probably see a no shield from the... no shield from the Scrafty. You probably could shield this too, but they do throw the Drill Peck. Could shield this, honestly, but I don't think it really matters. Probably would have thrown the foul play. You shield this. Yeah, and then you just throw the Scald. Oh, actually, interesting, they Mega Horn there as opposed to Hydro Cannon. But I think they're content on giving up at this point in time. Oh, they were not. Okay, gonna let this go. We'll see how much a debuffed Hydro does. I guess they're choosing not to reveal the second moveset. And gonna go for the farm down. And gonna throw this resisted Scald at this Empoleon. And this is game over here. Very nicely played. Really interesting moveset with the Dragon Tail. It makes sense though. And we're gonna see Scrafty into Samurott. And we're going to see how these two decide to play it out. It does have potentially two better answers in the back. Makes an absolutely gorgeous catch here. And we'll see what they throw here. They do throw the Hydro Cannon. And here comes Empoleon. This is an interesting matchup between these two. Obviously, both fastings are resisted. But Empoleon should be able to just barely edge out this matchup. In the zeros, this is probably pretty close just because Tentacruel has much better stat product and the chance for the debuff. They should make it a nice CMP tie. This farm down is going to be kind of nasty here. Well, can they even farm down though? Let's see. If they get the debuff here, this farm down would be very difficult to execute. No debuff. Even without the debuff, this farm down is going to be difficult to execute. And they catch onto Samurott. Well, this is very good for Altaria. I guess it could run Blizzard. No, can't run Blizzard anymore. Coming to Altaria, you're going to go for the full farm down. This is going to be a nasty, nasty farm down. Going to let this go. I'm assuming they throw Hydro Cannon. Yeah. And they get to another one. And this Empoleon has energy. And going to go for the farm down. Really, what can they win here with you shield this. It has a little bit of energy. We'll probably need to throw the Sky Attack. It wants to prevent another Drill Peck. Okay. Well, I think you let this go. Okay, gonna shield. Farm. You might as well farm down now. Okay, they come into. Oh my goodness, this is actually so terrible here. This is actually game over. Probably. Oh my goodness, unless you make a miracle play here. 2 shield Buzzwole here. This is actually so terrible. Unless you get the shield here. Even if you get the shield here, honestly, probably actually could have made it to the foul play. You gotta wait the clock out fully here. They definitely have 2 moves here. Oh, interesting. And then now you switch here. Oh, they end up throwing the move. They lunge here. Oh, denied on the Dragon Breath. Superpower here, right? They lunge. Oh, yeah. Well, this is game over here, right? Makes sense. I think Superpower would did more damage, right? No, maybe the lunge does. No, Superpower should do more. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the 3rd game here. Very entertaining set so far. And we're going to see Melmetal into Zapdos fantastically. We'll see what moveset this Melmetal is rocking here. And they come into Dragon Tail, Giratina. Perfect timing. When they switch in, you want to throw at 9, which is on alignment, just because it takes 1 turn to switch in. And this is looking pretty good. They're building up a ton of energy here. But the Zapdos is a little problematic for the back. Gonna let this go. Oh, they Ominous Wind baited. Wow, okay, that is super nasty there. But totally fine here. We'll see the Zapdos probably come back in. Zapdos should have a favorable matchup. I think you bait. And good timing. Gonna throw the Sky Attack. It is resisted, but they go up to the Moonblast. Oh, and they no shield. You shield this here farm it down. Okay, gonna let it go. They will throw the Thunderbolt. Oh, interesting. Interesting. But the Sky Attack is gonna do just enough chip here. And gonna switch here into Tentacruel. And then you just play out this matchup between these two. Which again, we saw previously was a very close matchup. Even, okay, gonna shield the... Makes sense, kinda? I don't know, I probably would have saved the shield for the Melmetal. And I guess the opponent can try to make a catch here, but though I don't think that matters. Yeah, I don't think it matters. And gonna throw another Scald. Just because I don't think the Hydro KO is the Melmetal. And able to farm down here. And they're gonna have to throw again. Well, this doesn't KO, so even if they caught, it wouldn't have really mattered. And gonna be able to land the Scald. Okay, nope. They actually make it to another move here. But this is totally fine. Can just superpower this Empoleon. Hydro Cannon would be pretty close here, but almost certainly wouldn't KO. And going to be able to take out the Empoleon. Okay, we're going to move on to the decisive game 4. Blaze up 2-1. And we're going to see Scrafty into Empoleon Fantastic lead. But we'll see how these two decide to play it out. And they come into Giratina. I think you still stay here. Though the Empoleon is a little problematic in the back. Okay, gonna switch. I think you're gonna have to shield. Shield and farm down. They will Ominous Wind Bait. That's totally fine. Oh, they did get the boost though. I'm gonna throw the Sand Tomb. We'll see if they decide to shield. They will not decide to shield. Empoleon will come back in. Gonna go for the Shadow Ball. We'll see how this plays out. Makes sense for them to no shield. And they'll... Oh, actually, you're able to reach the Sand Tomb. And you're gonna let this go. Immediate swap. And this is actually a really beautiful matchup for the Altaria. They will lunge here, but really doesn't matter too much. It does not really that much. Needs to throw the... Well, I guess you don't really need to throw the Sky Attack. The Sky Attack is double super effective. So even if they get another lunge off, it doesn't really matter here. Still let this go. Save the shield for Scrafty. But honestly, this... Well, I guess this Empoleon is going to attempt to farm this Altaria all the way down. Even if it does, though, the Empoleon is way too low. Yeah, it's way too low. Even double debuff there. All right, we are into the next set against OK then with Gliscor, Walrein, Golisopod, Como, Oranguru, and Escavalier. This is a neutral matchup. I don't want to say pretty neutral. It is a neutral matchup. Future Sight is Foul Play. I guess this is where you want to see it though. Okay, gonna go for the Moonblast. This almost certainly doesn't KO. But it will put it pretty low. Foul Play probably doesn't KO, but I think the next Confusion will KO after that. Yeah, almost certainly would have. And we see the switch getting controlled here. I like this throwing the Moonblast here just because you're only going to get to one charge move. It does slightly more damage plus the chance for the debuff. And then come into... Okay, gonna throw the Ice Beam. And we'll see whether or not this Como decides to shield. They do decide to shield. Kind of a weird matchup here. Gonna let this go. Likely a Dragon Claw. Almost certainly a Dragon Claw. And we'll see how these two decide to play it out. Another Dragon Claw. You let this go. One in Scald them. You're gonna go for the Sludge Wave. Why not? I guess because they're going to try to farm down with... And you got the free move here. They're going to try to farm... Okay, no, they don't try... Let's see if they have Night Slash, Aerial Ace... Aerial Ace. Okay, well, this is still pretty good, though. You let this go in case they have Night Slash. And they try to go for the boost. And this should be game over, right? Interesting not doing one and throw. The Body Slam maybe doesn't KO, but honestly, the rollouts are probably enough to KO after that. Gonna shield in case it's an Earthquake. And Body Slam probably enough here. Guessing like 20-something%. Oh, it's not quite enough here, but unless this is an Earthquake, it won't KO. And this is just an Aerial Ace and able to withstand it and take it out. Nicely played. Nicely done. Kind of a weird, really nice choices in play. We see Golisopod into Tentacruel. This should be a good matchup for the Tentacruel. As you can see, Tentacruel has much better stats than Golisopod, as well as Stab, Poison Jab, and Aerial Ace does not do a lot. The Sludge Wave would do a ton of damage. It wouldn't KO though, so we'll see how the Golisopod plays this out. They will end up no shielding, but does get the debuff here, which is super valuable. And they come into Oranguru. This is so bad for the Oranguru. Gonna throw the Foul Play. This is super effective. Won't KO because this is Ultra League. End up missing 3 bubbles, which actually might end up being better. You let this go here. I don't know what Oranguru could have that could do any damage. Oh, Trailblaze. That doesn't matter too much here. And gets a nice farm down. Gonna let this go. And they do land another Trailblaze here. And I think you just throw the Foul Play. Well, I guess it's Como. Then it's probably better to... Okay, gonna shield. Is the Walrein in the back? Let's see. Let's see how they want to play this out. If they're gonna shield. No, it is a Como. And gonna go for the Foul Play. Does more damage than the Power Up Punch. And this should be game over. Honestly, I think you go Tentacruel here first. And look to debuff it. Yes, look to debuff it. And if you debuff it, this game's over anyways. But if you debuff it, that's even better. This doesn't KO. I think you commit to another Scald here. Commit to... Okay, or switch here. Doesn't really matter here. I think another Scald would have been nice, but... This is game over. The opponent's not going to choose a throw. Realizing this is over unless they make it to 2 moves. Even if they do, another Scald is coming anyways. And we see Blaze go up 2-0. We see Altaria versus Walrein absolutely terribly. I'm assuming they swap into Tentacruel. And we will see how these two decide to play it out. Earthquake doesn't KO. Does do quite a bit of damage. And we will see the shield. And we see... the Escavalier come in. This is an awkward matchup for the Escavalier. They do end up shielding. And they'll outpace the second drill run. But can you catch the next drill run? Is that the play? It's probably Como in the back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. Maybe could have caught the move there. And then you just farm down. Not really. You'll cut a lot of energy here. A few frame drops along the way. Let this go. And then maybe you Moonblast the Aerial Ace here. Does not do a lot of damage. You one Dragon Breath and Moonblast. And then switch to... switch. They're at 1 right now. And it is Como. This should actually be a playable situation here. Do they commit to the close combat here? But can you just farm down this? You let this go? They will throw the Dragon Claw. You shield this? Yeah, you shield this here. Counter down. Yeah, then you just pop right away. Or just counter, straight counter down. That makes sense too. Really brilliant play. Very nicely done. And we are going to see game 4 here. And Escavalier versus Rodriguez is a very good matchup for the Escavalier. And we see honestly, I probably would have sand tombed it first, but I think this is game over anyways. Gonna shield. I definitely would have sand tombed it first and then switched. This is an awkward situation here. Ooh, that is a huge mistake there. Can you survive this Dragon Claw though? Can survive the Dragon Claw. The question is, will the opponent want switch? If they want switch, then this is a game over here. Oh, that is super bad here. But let's see. Maybe they don't have a clear answer to Rodriguez. Okay. Oof. Okay. Well, then you switch here. Bait out the Escavalier, then farm it down again. Yeah, I like this play. And then this will get it pretty low. Okay, gonna go power up punch. You will shield this here. And then they need 6 more. So gonna go foul play. They actually will end up no shielding here. And this doesn't KO. I think you just try to fast move down. Oh, they earthquaked. Okay. Well, then you just fast move down here. You'll survive a weather ball. You look at it right here. Actually, no, they choose not to throw the weather ball there, or they lagged. It doesn't really matter here because it wouldn't have KO'd. Very nicely played set. Nice 4-0 pickup against OK then. All right, we're going against Guts D Curl. I don't know how to pronounce that name. They have Machamp, Skuntank, Lapras, Armored Mewtwo, Galvantula, and Galarian Moltres. Let's see how the set will play out. I'm not really too sure here. Miltank looks okay. I actually don't know what moveset the... Okay, Miltank. Okay. Well, I called the Miltank. I guess this is where you want to see it. This thing does have access to Dynamic Punch. So gonna throw. Nicely done. I think 5 is actually the... They should do 2 confusions and throw, but we'll end up shielding the Dynamic Punch. You do want to do 1 and throw, then 1 and throw. Maybe you try 1 and catch onto the Rodriguez, but maybe a dangerous play. Okay, nope, gonna go for another body slam here. It makes sense. Okay. Let this go. Hopefully it's a Dynamic Punch. Oh, they side striked here. Oh man, that is not great. Gonna shield. They will come into Skuntank and then throw the skull at them. Let's see if we get the debuff. No debuff. They're gonna have to throw. Nice timing by the opponent. You got to come into... This is actually a really bad situation here. You got to come into Miltank and pray here. Pray here. It's basically what you have to do. Oh, they're actually going to come into... Oh, man. Okay. This is an interesting play. Because the Sand Tomb almost certainly doesn't KO. And I think you'll have a very difficult time Shadow Clawing down. And going to throw another Sand Tomb. They will come into Machamp. And this is actually so bad right now. The Skuntank definitely has a move and will win CMP versus the Rodriguez. And honestly, this Machamp will probably be able to take out this Rodriguez. Probably a cross chop and rock slide. But let's see if they have payback. Oh yeah, that cross shot for sure will KO. And gonna be able to take out the Rungarigus. And that is going to be enough. Kind of weird prediction there. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess not predicting the ABA week to Rungarigus was probably, but you got some valuable information in terms of revealing the moveset. Okay, we see Tentacruel into Galarian Moltres. This thing has Wing Attack, Payback, Ancient Power, Brave Bird or something like that. This is a 7. They do Brave Bird. And they come into Skunk Tank. Maybe you try to catch the Crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Catch the Crunch. Oh man, frame drop there. That's terrible. You let this go here. Now you come into... Okay, I guess you stay now. That's terrible. There are 2. I guess you resist the poison, double resist the poison jabs. Interesting coming in. Oh my gosh, they threw the flamethrower there. That is terrible. Gonna throw the rock slide. Gonna get the farm down. I doubt they come Moltres here. That would be a crazy situation here. And they come into... Okay, they're actually very weak to Melmetal. Interesting not showing the double Iron Bash. And interesting not throwing the move there. Psystrike does KO. It's actually going to be kind of iffy situation here, to be honest. You let this go. Ancient Power. Doesn't quite KO. Not throwing the move there was... Actually will end up shielding, which makes sense. Because they resist the foul play. And this becomes like a really baity endgame here. I think you shield this. The Dying Punch wouldn't KO. The Brave Bird is the only way you lose. Okay. They actually end up no shielding there. And then I think them Brave Birding was like their only win con here. And interesting not throwing the move. It doesn't really matter here. One pop and then a foul play is probably the correct play. Because this almost certainly doesn't KO. But will play it into the red. Oh, actually does KO. Does KO. Okay. Okay. Really well played games there by Blaze. Congratulations on the draft victory. Well played. Good plays by the rest of the opponents too. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.